To survive, okay, we're at like 22 minutes. Okay, there's no facts, we still got like 20 minutes, so make noises.
Pasta, popcorn, French fries, hamburgers.
Apple pie.
Mango and papaya.
You really are what you eat. Food is our fuel, our source of energy. Our bodies turn that energy into motion. Naturally, there has to be at least as much energy going into our bodies as there is coming out. To keep track of that, energy is measured in calories. Some foods have more calories than others, such as fast foods, which are often cooked in fat. But that doesn't mean that you should avoid fast foods. Just select the food carefully, as nutritionist Charlotte Bond explained.
Fast foods tend to be high in fat. There are three sources of fat here: the French fries, the butter, and fried chicken. Now, another fast food meal, which is equally appetizing and interesting, would be to have a taco instead of Coke or cola drink. To have fruit juice mixed with mineral water, and then have either some carrots or yellow squash and some green beans. And most of those things are available in fast food kiosks today. That meal is 348 calories, whereas this one is 668 calories. So it's really painless, fairly painless to make the choices and have less calories.
Here's a simple way that you can tell just how much fat there is in your diet. Take a variety of fruits. I've got an apple, radish, peanut, potato chips, French fries, milk. And you cut up a brown paper bag, preferably an unwrapped paper bag, cut it into squares, and label each piece with the kind of food that you have. Then literally take your food and rub it on the paper. Just a little circle right in the center. Now, if you want to find out just how much fat there is, use a light. So, manual lamp like this. Hold your piece of paper up and just see what it looks like against the light. Now here's what an apple looks like, and I don't really see anything because an apple is going to water. But if I look at something like a French fry, you can see that there's a clear spot in the center. That clear spot is the grease. And if you test the different kinds of food you have, the bigger the spot is, the more fat it has. This is right. How much fat is in your diet?
Fat is not utilized quickly by the body. If we eat too much, it goes into storage, that excess baggage some of us carry around. That's why nutritionists say it's not healthy to eat too much fat, especially if you don't burn it off with regular exercise. But some fat is necessary in a healthy diet. But fat is only one type of energy the body uses. Another one is carbohydrates, such as sugar and starches. Carbohydrates are used quickly by the body, so they don't hang around. But you can't live on carbohydrates alone any more than you can live on fat alone. That's why you need a balanced diet. Cheryl Wilson is a meal planner who studied nutrition in school. Now she plans meals for a summer camp. Her job is to make sure that these kids eat balanced meals that will provide enough energy for their active bodies.
Carbohydrates are variety from meat, fat, food sources of energy. It also provides essential fatty acids, so it helps to maintain good health. It helps for the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins, and it also adds taste to our food. Nutrition recommendations state that we should have about 35% of our calories consumed from fat. However, most of us are eating more than that.
Carbohydrates are a better source of energy than fat, and they come in two kinds, simple and complex. Simple carbohydrates like sugar are absorbed very quickly by the body and provide fast energy. The complex carbohydrates like bread and pasta take longer to break down and provide the body with more energy later. There are three major food groups. We've already seen two, carbohydrates and fat. The third group does not provide energy as much as it provides materials to maintain and repair body tissue. When you eat meat, dried beans, and grains, you're eating proteins. That's what your skin and muscles are actually made of. Proteins are the body's building blocks. Your body needs them for growth and repair of damaged tissue, just as a welder needs sheet metal to repair the body of a car. Athletes who need long-distance strength eat a lot of meat for protein. Their bodies become lean with clearly defined muscles and little fat. They really are what they eat. Our bodies cannot live on only one type of food. In a well-balanced meal, you get about half of your calories from carbohydrates, less than a third of your calories from fat, and the rest from proteins. So what's for lunch?
Today we're having split pea soup, fish and chips, Chinese coleslaw, and a fresh fruit salad. We have plain muffins, cookies, fresh fruit. There's beverages for morning and afternoon snacks.
So how's the food?
Now I have a problem that you can help me solve. Tomorrow we're taking 30 campers on a 10-mile hike, and we're planning to stop for lunch. Now what I want you to do is help me plan that meal. Keeping in mind that it's going to be a scorcher of a day, we have to carry all of our supplies, and we have no refrigeration. So what are we going to take?
When you eat a variety of foods from different food groups, making sure your body gets what it needs. Healthy meals mean healthy bodies. Remember, you are what you eat.
Tastes good, and it's good for you too. You know, in order to get all that good nutritiousness out of this apple, my body has to take it apart, break it down into its basic elements. To do that, you use the digestive system. And you can think of the digestive system like an assembly line in reverse. An assembly line starts with basic elements coming out of the ground, like metal, uses tools, and puts them together into something complex, like a car. Well, our digestive system takes something that's already been put together by Mother Nature, like the scaffold, and then uses tools to break it down into its basic elements. And it's those basic elements that our body can absorb to stay healthy. And the first tools that this assembly line uses, start rolling out.
Assembly line workers use tools to put cars together. Your body uses tools to take food apart. The grinding tools are the teeth. The food is ground up and mixed with saliva. Like wrenches, enzymes in the saliva take the food apart converting complex molecules to a mixture of more easily digested simple sugars, glucose, and maltose. The saliva acts like a lubricant. It mixes with the food, so when it's swallowed, the food is easily pushed down the esophagus. How did that swallow happen? When you swallow, pressure causes a sphincter muscle at the top of the esophagus to relax and let the food through. Then muscles behind and in front of the food relax and contract in fast, rhythmic waves, squeezing the food downward and onward. This squeezing is called peristalsis, and is much like moving a ball through a flat bicycle tube.
Swallowing does not depend on gravity. After all, countries weighted with astronauts don't have any problems getting food down. It's easy to down.
At the bottom of the esophagus is another muscle, the cardiac sphincter. It acts like a door, and when it relaxes, the gateway to the stomach is open. By the way, the stomach does not lie. Generally, the stomach is situated higher, in the upper left of the abdomen. It's just behind the lower rib cage, behind the diaphragm. When empty, it's shaped like a big capital J. When full, it looks like a boxing glove, and it can hold about a quart of food. The stomach is a pretty hostile place. As it churns, 35 million tiny glands secrete gastric juices to turn what was a solid sandwich into a liquid lunch. More enzymes like pepsin break down protein, and hydrochloric acid that's strong enough to burn your skin reduces the food to a chemical soup that the body can now begin to absorb. Fortunately, the stomach is lined with an alkaline matrix, so it doesn't digest itself. Most absorption takes place in the small intestine. Getting there to the stomach happens when the thyroid sphincter muscle relaxes. The small intestine is called small because it's only about an inch in diameter, but it's incredibly long, about 4 times longer than your height. That's about 20 feet. It's that long for the same reason an assembly line is long. In the same way, an assembly line has to be long enough to put all the parts together to make a whole finished product. The small intestine is long in order to take food apart to get the nutrients out. The body needs lots of nourishment, and the nutrients are absorbed through the intestinal lining. To make the intestines effectively longer, the lining is filled with millions of tiny fingers called villi. They increase the surface area so much that if the small intestine were spread out, it would be bigger than a single tennis court. Nutrients are like small parts, but they're not small enough. They have to be broken down to their nuts and bolts, the chemical components. Digestive juices from the pancreas continue to break down the food into chemical fragments. When the fragments are small enough, they can pass through the intestinal wall into the bloodstream. An average meal spends about 6 hours in the small intestine getting disassembled. Carbohydrates are quickly absorbed, while fats take longer. We use what we can, and what we can't use, we get rid of. The large intestine, or colon, is only 3 feet long, but it handles a big job, waste disposal. But first it absorbs water and electrolytes, which is salt, that the body needs. It stores that waste matter until it's evacuated from the body into the rectum. The final step in an assembly line is to put energy in a car, gas, so it can be driven away. The final product of the digestive system is also extracted from the food and moved to the body. Alright, we ran out of food stuff.
Cows have to eat a huge amount of hay every day, which is about 50 or 60 pounds. In order to maintain a rather large body, and their digestive system is different from ours. It's specially adapted so that it can handle those large quantities.
Jim Atkinson is a feedlot specialist.
One of the advantages of the cow is that the kind of thing that it eats, other animals aren't interested in eating because they can't even begin to attack us. But even the cow in this digestive tract doesn't do a great job of breaking down that material, and as much as 50% of that, 60% may be left over at the end of the process. So a good deal of what goes in the front end comes out the rear end of the animal too.
The stomach of a ruminant is specially designed to digest cellulose fiber.
The cow in here is being fitted with a rumen fistula. It's hard to get an idea of the scale of the rumen because you see right through the animal, you see that the rumen is very large. What's happening here is that hole has been made surgically in the side of the animal so that you can reach into the rumen and take samples from there without disturbing the animal. You see there, the aid of the animal breathing some of the corn and so on in its diet as well. You can also see it's contracting and mixing the contents all the time. Now to get some idea of how large that is, let me use this animal here as a butt.
This has a hole inside of it?
Go right down into there, hold it in the animal's rumen.
So how does the rumen process hay?
We don't have the enzymes that cows. So this needs what they need is the bacteria to attach to those digestion done by the microbes. The cow benefits from the bacteria, and the bacteria benefit from the cow because you get a warm, safe, comfortable place to carry out the digestion process.
Your assembly line in reverse is designed to put into it. And an animal's digestive tract is actually the most other countries that they use. So I guess you could say you really are what you eat.
So you. Just don't take steroids.